Hello, how's everybody doing? Good. All right, so we're gonna make a nice squash and apple galette here for you today. It's really great for this time of year. I mean, you can make it any time of year, but right now it's perfect with the fall flavors coming in. We've got some beautiful butternut squash and apples that we got here in Newfoundland, and yeah, we'll get started right on that. So it's pretty simple. Has anybody here ever made pastry dough before? Yeah, a couple times. So it's pretty straightforward, right? So we're going to take our flour, get that ready, put it in a bowl. And just a little bit of salt in with that. And the beauty about this recipe is you don't have to use just squash and apple. You can use whatever you want, really. It's a beautiful pastry dough for a lot of different things. But it's going to be really nice for this today. So you just want to stir your salt and your flour in there a little bit. Then we're going to take our butter. You want that pretty cold, but not super, super chilled. You want to be able to work with it a little bit. We're going to put that in with our flour. I don't know if you guys can see that up there. And then you can use a pastry cutter or your hands, whatever you have at home. They both work just as well. You just want to incorporate that in there a little bit, not too much. You're still looking for some lumps in there. And when we cook, that's going to melt and give it a really nice feel to it. So I don't know if you guys can see that up in the mirror, but that's kind of what you're looking for right there. Is a couple little lumps. Nothing too serious. This is a good way to do it with your hands too. I'll show you both ways. And you just kind of want to massage it through your fingers a little bit. And that's kind of what you're looking for right there. Just kind of flaky, sort of similar to tea biscuits or scones. Okay, we're going to set that aside for a sec. And then this recipe actually has yogurt in it, which is really going to help with, it's going to bring out some sour notes in it. Same with the lemon juice we've got as well. It's going to kind of round that pastry dough out in the flavor a little better. Also, ice water. Very cold water is important because we don't want our butter to be melting yet. We want to keep it nice and cold. And it's going to help that pastry too. So you're just going to want to take your yogurt and your lemon juice and your water. Get that in a bowl. Just incorporate that into each other there a little bit. You see that? Nice smooth liquid, no lumps. So now we're going to take that and pour that into your flour butter mixture. Then you can use a spoon or your fingers or whatever. Spoon helps to be a little bit cleaner. And it's going to be a little wet, but you don't want it to be too wet. It's going to be kind of crumbly when you're mixing it like that. If you can see that in the mirror. Get some little adjustments here so you guys can see a little better. Looking good? Everybody see? Yeah, thumbs up for okay? Yeah, awesome. Okay, so that's kind of what you're looking for there. A little clumpiness. You can still kind of see the chunks of butter in there. And we're going to take that and just kind of form it into a bit of a ball there. Just kind of pack that all together. You don't really want to work it too much because you still want those chunks of butter in there. That's what you're looking for. And just kind of pack that into a ball there. And that's going to create a little moisture when you put that in the fridge as well. So that's okay, just like that. So we're gonna saran wrap, we're gonna throw that in the fridge for about an hour, get a nice cool chill on it to help that butter again. And then boom, 1 hour in the fridge. This is what you'll come out with. So you can see mine's taking on a little moisture there. It's a little tacky, but not too much. That's just fine. So I've got a little excess flour here. Nice heavy coating on our cutting board. It's gonna help it not to stick. Make things a little nicer to work with. A little bit on top. Okay, and you're looking for about a 10-inch diameter rolling pin. Okay, so you're just gonna wanna start in the center, start working that around, keep a nice circle going. I don't know if you guys can see, but you can still see the butter in there, eh? That's what you're looking for. Flip it over, give it a little more flour, keep stretching that. Make sure that it's nice and even because that's really going to affect things when it's cooking. You don't want a big lump on one side. You want to make sure you have nice, even dough. And you want to leave that pretty thick. Don't go too thin because the filling that we're putting in this today is a little wet, and as you cook it, it's all going to put out some liquid. So you definitely want your crust to hold up to that liquid. So that's about what we're looking for right there. You can see nice chunks of butter in there. It's just wet enough, not too wet. Really nice dough. So, now I'm going to set this over here just for 1 sec. All right, so now we're going to cut the squash and the apples for this. You're going to want to go just a little bit thinner on the squash, just because it takes a lot longer to cook. And we're going to cook the squash first. We're going to toss that in olive oil, salt and pepper, maybe a little brown sugar to help bring out some flavors in it. So you're just looking for about a 1/4 inch on that. That's about what you're looking for right there. Okay, that's perfect. So we'll just make a few more of those. I'll show you. And so yeah, we'll just put that in a bowl, toss it, cook it in the oven. And voila, this is what you'll get. Nice, beautiful squash. Bring this back up here. Stretch that out just a little bit. Now with your apples, you're gonna wanna go just about a 1/4 of an inch thicker on those, obviously because apples don't hold up as well to heat. So you wanna go just a little bit thicker, so you still got a little bit of bite to that when it comes out of the oven. Nobody likes a really mushy apple. Just wanna take the core out of that. Put that there. And that's about what you're looking for slices right there. Almost double the thickness of the squash, but not quite. And that's gonna help that hold up in the oven. A couple more cuts there. That's looking good. Okay, so now we're gonna start to build. So you wanna take your squash, put a layer of that down first. As you can see, we're gonna leave about 1.5 inches around the outside because that's what's gonna make our crust when we fold it up. So we're just gonna make some nice layers here. Just get some nice coverage all around. We'll layer our apples in there. And then, got some beautiful feta cheese here. You don't have to use feta, you can use a different kind of cheese if you want. Feta is really going to help. It's going to be really nice with the apples and the squash. you want to go a decent amount of feta on there. And you kind of want to get some height in this, so when you fold your crust up, it's got something to kind of stick to in there. I'm going to go with a little more squash. It's kind of like that. Maybe we'll do another piece. So as you can see, that's getting pretty high in there. That's what we want. We want some height there. And we're just going to go with another little bit of apple there. Some more cheese all around, just to round it out. Okay, so that's looking pretty good there. Now we're going to start to fold it up. So you just want to bring that up and kind of crimp it and fold it all the way around, just like that. Crimp, fold, crimp, fold, crimp, fold. So that's looking pretty good there. So you can use herbs and spices in there if you want. We like to put ours on top and just kind of infuse those flavors together a little bit. We've got some thyme today. That's going to work really well with the squash and the apples. So we're just going to kind of lay that, couple sprigs of that on top, and when that cooks, that's going to give off some flavor in there and incorporate into everything. We're going to go just a little sprinkle of coarse salt and pepper on the top, just to round everything out a little bit. It's perfect. And then we're going to egg wash it. Egg wash really helps to give you that nice golden brown crust when you're cooking. And, well, I mean, who doesn't like a golden brown crust, right? So we've got an egg wash here. We just use 1 egg and 1 tablespoon of water. Works great. So we're just going to give that a little brush there. All the way around, get in all those nice edges there. Maybe move your thyme out of the way if you have to. Get in all those creases in there. And as this bakes, it's just going to get a really nice golden brown color. That pastry is going to crisp up and flake, and all that goodness locked in the center of that. It's just going to create a little steam in there and really help those flavors build together. So put your thyme on, and then you just want to put that in the oven at 400 for about 30 minutes, give or take. And you're just looking for a really nice golden brown crust. Make sure that the pastry is cooked all the way through and on the bottom. And there you have a squash and apple galette. Anybody have any questions? Anything I wasn't clear on?